Another beautiful game against.
Yeah, it was played in Yugoslavia in 1967, and it was almost a decisive game for our qualification for the interzonal. I had this game against the Hungarian Grandmaster Barczay. In that time, he was between their first 4-5 players in the Hungarian team. And he was a very tactical player, of course. He plays Sicilian against me, and we have a very sharp game. We'll see what happened.
All right, let's see.
E4, C5, knight f3, d6, d4 takes, knight c6, okay. Bishop c4, this is the Sozin attack preferred by Fischer himself. You know? He won a lot of games with white against the Sicilian with this Sozin attack. You know? Okay. Bishop e3, a6, everything until here again, theory. Everything is theory. Yeah. Bishop, yeah, queen c7. Now it depends what kind of order, comes from black and from white. Now, in this line, after queen e2, we have the Volodymyrovich attack. This is well known from in these years, the Yugoslavian grandmaster. He was a very talented grandmaster, and he won a lot of sharp games with white, with his idea. He wants to castle long side and has the immediate attack against the black queen, by sacrificing somehow a piece on d5, if he can succeed. We'll see. Queen e2, knight a5. This is one of the main lines for black, to try to exchange immediately the white bishop from b3 later on, Yeah.
Because to avoid the pressure.
To avoid the pressure on the white diagonal, from b3 to e6. This is So g4, white reacts on the other side, of course, immediately. Wants to play immediately g4, g5 is possible. Yeah. So h6, he wants to defend for a moment. Now after h6 castle, and after b5, we have a very interesting position where both sides try to attack something. Black, if he has a little bit of time, he wants to play immediately b4 and take maybe the pawn from e4. This is one idea. So
to take the pawn from e4.
From e4. I mean, if he has time to play b4 and take the bishop, later on, maybe he has time to attack the pawn from e4. If he has time to take in e4, he has a very good game. Normal. f3. Okay, now we have the same position. Everything is protected, and white keeps the initiative. White is clearly better in any kind of position. Why? Because he secured the king's position, and black has still the king in e8. In the central position. It's a little bit dangerous for black. Okay, so now on bishop d7. Okay, this is the idea, the difference was with the bishop in d7 instead of b7, that now he can defend the square b5. If the bishop was on b7,
yes,
black was lost immediately after knight takes b5, and then he captures the knight from c4. He loses 2 pawns immediately, and then the knight is also under attack on c4, and the position completely lost. But with the bishop in d7, the square b5 is protected, and therefore it's possible to play like this.
Yes.
We don't win immediately with white, Okay, so g5. We continue our attack now. Knight h5, the only move. If he takes in g5, the attack goes on, we have time to attack with rook h8 later on. This is another idea. So rook g1, g6. He hopes to close a little bit the position. He protects the square from f5. He has a good position for his knight in h5. It seems that black more or less has a normal game, let's say.
Yes.
Yeah. Therefore, we continue our idea. The idea from white is to continue the attack by playing himself f5 later on, to open completely the position. Yeah. Rook c8, okay. f5, good.
So
everybody played the idea, and now if he plays normally, even after knight takes b2, okay, we give a pawn for, some small initiative, but the initiative is strong enough because in meantime we can recapture the pawn in b5 and the attack goes on, and the bishop from b3 attacks again the square from e6, and the game is very dangerous for black because finally the knight from h5 is completely out of play.
So
The position is very tactical. If he takes in b2, I mean,
if he takes
it's
here,
not good. If he takes in b2, we can take in time in b5 with the knight from c3.
here.
He has to take back with the pawn. We recapture in b2. We have the same pawns, but the attack goes on, and it's completely winning for us.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is his last hope, before. And now we take in e6, of course. He takes in f7. And now, as always in Sicilian, we sacrifice the knight. But we open completely the position. The black king, as I told you before, is still in a very dangerous position in e8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he takes. Okay, we gave a piece, but if he takes the e3, the attack goes on, and no castle anymore, and always a threat to be mated quickly.
You lost a piece, but the king
Well,
now is.
we lost a piece, but we want to give mate in a few moves, like this, as always, in Sicilian. Yeah. So the only way to protect a little bit, the king is to go back with the knight. Yeah. Okay. We continue the attack. Now everything is forced. He has to take in e6. No? Okay. The last hope, somehow to go away with the king from e8, to disappear from there. Now we have time to take in a6. Now we have 2 pawns and attack. We continue the attack, and we have the same threat. We threaten to take in d6, to open the lines, to give check in a4. Terrible position for black.
Yes.
So the only move is to go to try to continue tactically. So he took in g5, we took back. Now the position is completely open, and the idea is, even without any other complication, to play e7. After e7, if he plays queen takes e7, he loses at least the rook in c8 and mate later on, of course. He can also lose the queen immediately after rook e6, but it's much too much here. The only move is the way he played in our game. Yeah. After rook takes d6, castle. Okay, he agrees to give something after e7 check, but at least to continue a little bit the game. There's the hope to continue tactically our game. Okay, he was a check. Now we took.
At least he put the kings, on a
no,
safe.
it's
safer.
forced. Everything is forced.
Yes.
Yeah. Now he took back, and now of course rook b6. The attack continues. We'll see. He has a very good knight in e5, but now counterplay at all. There is no threat at all against the white king. Bishop c5 again, the last hope.
Here he wants to give up the
the
queen.
He wants to play a little bit, but it was the only move, bishop c5. Now, if he has time to trade the bishops, later on, maybe somehow, if he survives, he has a hope for endgame after g takes h4, and maybe later on to come with the h pawn.
Yes.
But it's much too long. Yeah.
Okay.
So after, we took there, he took, bishop b7 check, of course. And now, all right, white wins by force, but he has to demonstrate how, to have to play quietly and nicely.
So basically you have right
rook
now...
d1 is very good, and the attack goes on,
Yes, we have a quality right now.
We have a quality and many threats, many threats. g4, okay. He could, finally realize his idea. Okay. It seems that he survived somehow, Yeah.
Yes.
Now threaten the knight from e5. If you go away with the knight, he's completely winning immediately,
Because that knight keeps a lot of pawns.
Yeah, he keeps the pawn from g6. If white wants to take finally somehow in g6, and then it's completely winning. Yeah. Knight f3. Okay, now is after queen. We give the rook, but this is completely winning, because if he takes, for instance, now in
Yes.
e7, now comes queen h6 check. We don't take the knight. We give check in h6, and
Yes.
after queen h7, queen takes f8 mate.
Ah,
This
here.
is the idea,
Yes.
Yeah.
He took the rook.
He took the rook and
Check.
okay, this.
And resigned.
He resigned because he's mate,
Yes.
immediate mate. A very good demonstration what can happen in Sicilian in any position. If white has a good attacking chances. It's always very, very dangerous.
A lot of tactics, but if you...
Yeah, but strategically it's very clear. White has a very big advantage, very strong initiative, and as always he tries to win in a tactical way, if possible. And he wins.
Yeah,
Usually
yeah.
he wins.
Nice.
These are the dangers from Sicilian. The first 20, 25 moves is always a very good chance to lose in a tactical way in Sicilian. With black, I mean.
Yeah.
Therefore, in Sicilian, you have usually a good chance to try to win yourself. I mean, you have a good counterplay, but it's very dangerous because we can lose also very quickly, in some positions. It's very dangerous compared with some other openings. The other openings are a little bit more quiet like this.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Yeah.